Habarigani.
Ujamaa.
Cooperative economics. Welcome to VlogZaa Day 4, where we are going to purely, simply discuss one of the most highly elusive principles of Kwanzaa, really.
What you mean elusive? It seems pretty straightforward. Isn't it like just to support black businesses and stuff?
Well, that's not really the definition of it. The definition, according to Maulana Karinga, the person who developed the Kwanzaa, is to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. So it talks about building and maintaining collectively and profiting from them collectively. And you're not really profiting from the businesses that, or really building them together when you just go out and you look at the color of someone's skin and say, okay, I'm gonna give you my money. Like, that's what it's become these days. But it's not this concept. This concept is a little different. Cooperative economics is a little bit deeper.
A voice calling from within our core.
What are we here for? We realize that our power lies
And how we live our lives.
and how we choose to show up.
So we choose to show up as rooted crowns. And this is our living prayer. Birth from the earth,
On a path to reclaim our name.
nature, ancestral medicine. To heal our home, we sow this prayer in our bodies between many hands and upon our land.
In direct response to self-hate, for scarce and ecological discordancy.
But it's simple for real. We plant fruit forests and concrete jungles.
Inspiring youth to lead us out the struggle.
Nourishing our bodies as living proof.
Sharing all we do to amplify this truth.
Yeah, we documenting it all.
Bringing it to music and feel this call and personal life.
Yeah, we standing tall, rooted crowns. Let's rock with it, y'all.
So, yeah, like if we're talking about collective freedom, you know, if we're talking about building something cooperatively, we're not talking about just giving our money to someone so that we all stay in the rat race and just making sure that some people are in it differently. It's not getting any of us out of the rat race. So I've been thinking about this a long time. I've been thinking about this my whole life, all the principles, but this specific principle I really started to think about a lot the last 10 years. And one of the first things that kind of got me thinking is the definition of economy, like the real definition. So economy, if you ask almost any of my nephews and nieces, because every single time we have a Kwanzaa on this day, I'm like, what's the definition of an economy? Like, I've explained to them again and again. You ask any of them, they'll say the same thing. You break down eco and nomi. Nomi means the management of, and eco means the house or the earth or the resources of the earth. So, of the home, yeah. So basically it means the management of the resources of earth. And before, you know, if you would have asked me a few years ago, you know, what I thought about our current economy, I would say, well, it's competition based and I'm against it. I want it to end. I want the monetary system isn't economy. It's actually it's the opposite of economy because it's wasting our resources instead of managing them. And I had this whole thing against the monetary system. But since then, you know, I've kind of accepted that if it's going to change, it's going to be something beyond my capacity to understand. And what I was actually seeking as a solution, which was at that time a resource-based economy, or, you know, the Zeitgeist movement, I was really active with them, which is, we were all pushing for this technologically advanced, so spitty, technologically advanced, like cooperation model, like made possible by advanced technology. But what I've understood or realized or, you know, been exposed to recently is if it's controlled by advanced technology, then somebody is going to control that technology. So then the community is actually going to still be controlled by whoever has the monopoly over that technology. So if you want to take that if they want to take that technology away, or if it breaks and you don't have anyone to fix it, you're pretty much out of luck. And there's like all these dreams about having engineers and scientists and da-da-da-da. But to begin a society like that, to get the smart cities that people are talking about, right now those technologies are in, the ownership of those technologies are in the very few. So it's not really possible to have a big community, cooperation-based community based on advanced technology, because it will basically just be an owned community, and that's that whole fourth industrial age detour that I talked about in a previous video, this video. So when I realized that, we started to talk more about creating a village.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I want to share is that last night, you know, everybody kind of came together on Ujamaa. And it seems like Ujamaa and Ujamaa are two sides to a similar coin. Like they're even the same root word, it seems like. I don't know for sure, but it sounds like it from the phonetics. But and even from the meaning, you know, cooperative economics and collective work and responsibility. So, you know, it seemed like from collective work and responsibility and the exercise that we did last night, people came to Ujamaa. People came to, okay, we need to support and maintain our communities and bringing our skills to the table. You know, this is what we're going to do. And then they made that like piecework, you know, city and all these community centers.
It was really interesting.
And it was so much of like, listen, we have these skills, we have these offerings. Let's offer them, you know.
Through that really interesting method.
But what's happening now is that, you know, we have a lot of ways that we're able to, you know, offer our skills, but so many times folks are tied up, you know, holding a dead-end job, or, and not able to offer those things. And so, you know, we end up all, you know, like still going to the supermarket to get our food, still going to Walmart every now and then for the thing we need from Walmart, still going to, you know, just, you know, the whatever store. And then holiday season comes, we support a couple businesses from our local friends, or, you know, and you know,
we're doing Ujamaa.
I think we're doing it right. Is that really doing Ujamaa? You gotta ask. The one example that I seen that seemed like it was moving in a, you know, pretty good direction with it was when we went to visit Soulfire Farm up in New York, and they actually call their CSA Ujamaa. You know, they are in a place where they're supporting themselves. You know, they're building, you know, a framework and a foundation for, you know, community with spirituality, with land-based, you know, living, with sourcing, you know, growing their own food, having their own animals. You know, they're gonna get to a point where they're not gonna need much from outside.
And that's what's necessary.
And that's power. And then they're able to have excess now. They're growing more than they can eat. So, you know, or at least the things that they're growing, they're growing enough that they can offer it to their neighboring cities and to people in low-income neighborhoods.
On a sliding scale.
And on a sliding scale, where people can, certain people who have money pay extra and support those who are, you know, who can afford, you know, the CSA. But so certain people get it for free, certain people get it really low price, certain people get it on food stamps, and then others pay like the $25 a week or whatever it is, and then other people like add extra because they can. So that was a beautiful model, but it's still tied up in the capitalism. You know? I
mean, but that's the thing. It's like I realized that we don't have to try to get out of capitalism. Like that's maybe not that realistic right now, but what we can do is we can create a village, a community that isn't based on capitalism amongst ourselves. Like we have what we need, you know, we grow what we want, we have that, but then
and it's collectively owned. Yeah,
it's collectively owned. Like there's private lots and there's communal lots. Private lots that we own that we can pass down in our inheritance, and communal lots that we all share. Maybe we own communally or we have it in trust. I don't really understand.
So it's like creating a bubble or a hub where, you know, like creating a village. You know, a village where we have our own unique economy within that village. Yeah, when we go out into the world, we're gonna have to, you know, kind of navigate the economies that be.
But that's
the industries that be, and the, you know, the transportation and the monetary system. We're gonna have to navigate it.
Yeah, or if it's credits, we'll have to navigate it in that way. We have to navigate whatever is going on outside of our village. And I think that's where Ujamaa comes in. Like we can, with our village, with our intentions, we can begin to make businesses from our abundance. we can begin to collectively invest. We can begin, you know, like, because one of the other biggest, like, you know, holdbacks people have of going into a village and joining a community is if it's a village that doesn't have money, then if they join it, they won't be able to leave, right? Like, because you can't make money while you're there. You're in the community doing what the community is doing. And then so what happens with the money? Like, is it only based in building up the community more? And I feel like that creates like a conversation that has to be a living conversation in the community where we want people to be able to be mobile, to have life experiences, to travel and come back or just leave when they're ready. And we make enough money through investments, through business ownerships, and through, you know, selling, you know, however we do it, we make enough money that we can share it with everyone that lives in the community, so that if you want to go, you have the money. If you want to go and come back, you have the money to do that. And we make it, and we also, like, maybe there was actually there was an idea of, like, I think it was 30 or something like that, or 1/3, and it was like 1/3 goes to the community, 1/3 goes to, you know, like future, like, new businesses, and then 1/3 goes to the people, or something like that, like shared evenly, and something like that. Like, it's a living conversation. But I think that's what Ujamaa is, like what it means to us anyway. Like, it's possible within the context of community, of not just community in a city talking about we like each other or we're the same color or whatever, but community as we live on land together. We depend on each other for our survival. We are a village, and within that we have businesses for the outside world. I mean, that's really what they're doing in the motherland. Like, I see village, or not everybody, but I've seen villages in the motherland that have
thing.
like the beads and stuff, businesses.
Well, that's the thing. Like, with indigenous people, a lot of the time, it's like they got their basic needs met.
Right.
Anything that they can make money on is just extra.
It's just
so
extra.
Yeah, it's just human nature to want to live a little, you know, a little easier. It's just human nature to want to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know. In terms of technology, it just makes life easier. So they make money. You know, somebody goes and buys a bicycle. And they got a bicycle, and they're riding through the village on a bicycle, and their bicycle's like,
it's the village's bicycle.
You know, I don't know, but what I do know is that they're not desperate. You know, they're not trying to survive on money.
And there's no homeless people like in the village. I mean, that's something we kind of try to talk about in Moja, but I didn't bring the clip in. But we were talking about how, like, you know, when we want to, like, support each other, like, I think instead of, like, going out of our way to say, okay, well, I'm going to go support you 5 states over because of the color of your skin, me being like, no, I'm going to support the people in my local environment to try to eradicate homelessness, because that affects me, you know? Like, anything I have, if he's just playing, I think it's boy, he's just playing. Like, if they're homeless and they have need and I have something, then they can very easily take that from me. But if they have access to what they need, then we're all a little bit better. I mean, yes, there's still, I have a little bit more than you have, and that's definitely a dynamic thing that we have to embrace. But if everybody at least is eating well, and I'm not talking about eating like potatoes and rice, but eating like nourishing nutrient-dense foods, and lives in a home that has the necessities that they need and is beautiful and comfortable and warm and safe, like, within that context, I think it's more, it honors Umoja better, it honors unity better, and it also makes for these building businesses together to further all of our collective abundance even better. So to me, that's Ujamaa. That's where we are as a family with this principle. That's where we've evolved to, which is very different than where I was several years ago, and highly different than the way that I was introduced to this, which is, like we said, support Black businesses, even though it's very different from the definition. So, yeah, I hope that, you know, this helps you to continue to reflecting on this idea, because I think that all the principles of Kwanzaa are really interesting and important, but I think this one specifically is one that, when really reflecting on and grown within, like, it gives a very different approach. It's like, instead of being against competition, it's understanding that we need to compete as a cooperating collective. So, you know, find your tribe. All right, so thanks for watching. We'll be back at you tomorrow with VlogZaa, day number 5.
Happy last night of Hanukkah for those celebrating. And happy 4th night of Kwanzaa. We're going to light candles with the family now.
Yeah.
So blessings to all y'all out there, to all our relations. Peace.
Peace.
So the first candles for Umoja, unity. The second candle for the second night was for Kujichagulia. So the red candle next, right next to it.
Self-determination.
Self-determination. Often cited by many people as their favorite principle.
It's just fun to say.
Yeah, I used to say it.
And it's an important idea, no doubt. And the third candle would be now a green one, right next to the black one. That's for the principle we celebrated yesterday, which is Ujamaa, collective work and responsibility. And that exercise we did last night was so, relevant to that purpose, that idea. So now the fourth principle is what we would be lighting a candle for tonight, which is for Ujamaa, cooperative. Everything we buy, we sell. Everything we need, we make. Everyone who works gets paid, and what we do not have, we create.
I think you need to give who said that
Who said
first,
that? Yeah.
especially if it's going online.
Yeah.
Steve Cobb and Charlotte from their Kwanzaa song series.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful phrase. I love that phrase. And it's an ideal phrase, because we need to get to that level of productivity, that level of commodification of our resources, so that we can in fact share and participate. But I think there's some solid principles in that notion. We've got to find a way to make sure that both, not only are we able to address our needs, but that everybody's able to share in that process.